But let's get into it.
Yes.
Dizzy starter guide came in. Boys.
Her theme. No, I'm kidding. Let me stop.
Oh, yeah. Hold up. No, that's very smart. That is actually, no, we have to. Let's set the precedence here. The theme also dropped. And yo, if you're a fan of Guilty Gear, you know the music's the shit. If you've been a fan of this podcast, you know goddamn well that Static here loves the music. All right, I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to say, yeah, like it, don't like it, meh. Ready? 3, 2, 1, meh.
Like it. You guys
sorry,
are crazy.
dog.
You guys are crazy.
Sorry,
it's a
dog.
banger. You're talking to the music theory guy. It's
solid.
a banger.
It's solid. It's just, you know what? All of She.
Okay, you're comparing it to
good. It's too good.
It's so good that they sampled it, Mezza. Yeah,
It's in
they were
the
like,
song,
we
dog. That's
can't
how
make it
good it
better.
is.
They were like, we can't make it better, or we're just gonna
Then
put the
why
same
even
track
try?
out.
Why not just re-release it, dog?
Because we're trying to get some new tracks in here. Y'all just hate. And look, it's just like how we did the Omega Red thing. You guys are like, oh, the old stuff was really good.
Hey, no spoilers, no spoilers.
No spoilers, dog. They don't know about that video. All right. So right now it's the majority, meh, but Dizzy bias aside. All right. So Dizzy starter guide. Yeah, she has some very interesting interactions from what we've seen already. Ice is pretty prevalent here. There is no
I need the name of the move.
No, dude, the names are so bad. Yeah, use this cash fish. Use this for chestnuts. We talk a lot. These are the names of the moves.
I'm teasing.
Clearly she named them herself.
Icefield's like the only normal one in there. All right, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
And Mikhail's sword. Mikhail, even though it's Michael.
Yeah,
We're American.
it's Michael's sword. First of all, yeah, Michael's sword. Michael's sword, aka Justice's sword. If you've played or know about that character, you know it's a callback there. Heavy slash version of it. Heavy slash version doing guard crush. I think that one's full screen as well. It interacts with projectiles. Yeah, exactly. Like
if your projectile
really
low, it goes over it, so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
It's anti-air.
Dude, like Frozen State. You know, a big component to her mechanic, to her game plan is the Frozen State. You know, straight Sub-Zero. Like that is what she gets to do, and yeah, it's a big part of her kit. So she gets to combo, and it kind of makes sense because a lot of like, not a lot, but like she's a zoner, kind of. She's got range. She's going to be able to like hit you, but you know, instead of getting just straight hits, like how are you going to be able to combo, right? That's where I feel like that's the whole point of the ice, is to allow for that time to close the gap and actually connect to whatever into Michael's sword, heavy slash version of it, because that's what you want to, I guess, end everything on. No fire moves outside of the spike for roasting chestnuts, which is the fire pin, and that thing homes in. And it's advantage at close range, which I called that shit out when we saw our initial reactions to it, because man, was she hella plus. I think she's like +3 or +4, just calling it out now. We got to see chompers, of course. There's a punch and a kick version, the high and low variation. The one thing I was really interested in seeing that I thought I saw, but like I don't think it interacted the way I thought it did, was can it take a hit for you? Like you can hit it and get rid of it, because we see Soul DP it in the in the breakdown, but she kind of got hit with it. So I was like, oh, was that like a weird one-off? Yeah.
I mean, she's always
because
had
in
that,
the past
but,
it has.
Yeah. I don't know what this game, because the way this game functions, she already has a lot of moves that interact. I think they would probably want it to not interact and stop people from. It just would be oppressive, because then she'd have a lot more set play that's scarier, because you can't just press on wake up, and you want to be able to have them press on wake up. Let's get my feel.
And speaking, and well, for wake up for her, speaking of that, Invincible Super. Cool.
Fully,
she's got a reversal. So good for her. It's not all doom and gloom if they close the gap and 2D you or something or knock you down. So that's called Imperial Rage. So you do have a wake up option. So that's good. Good. If she didn't, that was gonna be really tough.
It'll be all down to the other defensive mechanics, which still aren't amazing. Deflect shield or YRC.
Yeah, YRC, just guard or FD correctly if you can. But yeah, like her buttons are solid. Like the ones that we actually got to see, 5S looked like a typical 5S. It was good. Up close, you know, you could you could definitely like eat, some damage from her for sure. At very low combo, counts too. It's like a couple of hits, like 2, 3 or 4, and then into like Michael's sword. I know this is still early and we're gonna see optimal combos when she does drop on Halloween, but just looking at her kit, I don't see her doing a whole lot outside of like RCing a couple of things to like, is refreezing a thing? I don't even know, because I haven't seen a situation yet if you could refreeze or not, right? Yeah, so she's like in an interesting spot where she can kind of like beat down on people that can kind of try to rush her down. Like, her buttons tend to push you away, kind of keep you at that full screen, that area that she wants to keep you at. And like, I'm wondering how she's gonna match up with certain characters like Happy Chaos, to be perfectly honest. Because the thing I thought about was like, if he pulls out that gun, I will Michael sword you from full screen, just like instantly. And I don't really see a way where he can get around it, to be honest. If you're not already in with the hit with the focus balloon, with the water balloon aura thing that he throws at you to get better aim.
See,
it's kind of wild.
Some of these moves, like a move like Michael Sword, I would be fine with its old input because of how the old input was half circle back forward, I believe. With the
that's too much, dog. That's too much.
I'd be okay with the move being as good as it is, being a harder than normally input.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Nope.
No.
Hey, you're saying a move that has a guard break, has that full range, can do all this, should have like at least an above harder execution motion, so that way you get that's
correct.
Like
HCL being a good move. Chemical Love
I know Chemical Love.
It used to be half circle back forward kick.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was ass, so they changed it. But now it's good. So you think they should change the motion again?
I don't mind. I like the motion.
I actually can't justify that. I actually think the whole goal of
I see what you did there. Nice.
I can't agree, because the way they've designed the game is so that people could easily get into the game. The hard part, I feel, is going to be figure out the right timing against a lot of these stronger characters that are fast, that are more mobile, that do have probably something that counters it, which we haven't come across yet. Obviously, we'll know when she drops. But I feel like there's a lot of mechanics she already has that, even though this move is really good, if you wanted to limit it, just make it meter based. That's it. I mean, if you want to get if you want the guard break, sure. All right, meter, right? But the thing is, I think this is kind of a starting point, and it's meant for her to be easy to get into, because she doesn't have all the crazy stuff that she had before, where you're kind of like having to figure it out on your own. Even with this being said, this whole breakdown and introduction to her, I'm still looking at it like from an old Dizzy perspective. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy to kind of like figure stuff out. But for new players, they might be like, whoa, she's a lot. Kind of like how they saw Zato, right? They were like, he's way too much. She's a little bit less than that. I can handle that. I can get into it, kind of do some things.
Fix her.
So.
You know what we can't handle, though? You know what we can't handle? Motherfucking Wings of Light. Let's talk about that mechanic, since you said the M word. Wings of Light. So we talked in our previous video when we did a reactions to it, we got to see a little glimpse to it. And I was wondering, I was like, man, it's not doing anything. It's these little gold wings that show up and they look nice and it's pretty. And I'm like, her moves aren't changing. We were on the assumption that like maybe frame data is different. Maybe it's a prerequisite. Yeah, like you have to, there's prerequisites to actually, exactly. That's what would make sense. That seems fair. Riddle me this. What if I have 100 fucking tension and I got gold wings and I'm just breathing your air? What happens to the opponent? Oh, they lose like 65% of unbreakable, untechable, fucking dodgeable damage. What the hell, man? So what I'm saying right now is Wings of Light is a install, which is just down, and
HS
slash or HS. Okay, HS. Thank you. Down, HS to start up. She gets the cute little wings. You're like, oh, that's nice. Nothing happens. You gotta wait about 10 to 12 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. 10 seconds before they flutter. And when they flutter, and you see like the lights and everything, it looks nice and pretty. Yeah, that's your soul leaving, because now she is a DPS, a literal hitbox. Like that doesn't hit anything, that doesn't actually like show animations, your health just drains. I think it's by proximity though.
Yes.
But to boot, you do need to use tension. So remember, you have your tension bar, which tension in this game is just your meter, right? It lets you do your super, lets you do your RCs, lets you do your faultless defense. Lets you do quite a lot of things. This move is timed. When it's active, it just continuously drains your tension. And when it does that, that's what it needs to stay active. As soon as you have no tension, the move goes away, it disappears. So the best you can have it is you're at full 100 tension. And if you're next to the opponent, and from what it looks like in the video, at point blank range, 100% tension takes that 65% untechable, unreachable, you got no skill damage. Son. And she's still neutral. It's not like she's locked in. No, she is then also pressing buttons on your ass. Bro.
So a few things to note. One, it doesn't kill you. So
I was
it does
about
not
to say,
KO
no.
you.
It does the next best thing. It puts you next to death.
Yeah. You can't obviously FD it, so that's another thing. You're still
I'm not dead. My legs are crippled though. Sorry. Go on.
You're good. But there is a good note. So wherever you are in the starting round, that's majority of the distance that she's going to be doing it, setting it up and staying on top of you, that it will touch. But there is a specific distance, and it does show there's going to be golden lights that reach a certain distance that if you stay away from it, it will not take your life. So that's something that players are going to have to get used to seeing, because it's very, very thin. It's almost like a sphere. If you can look at it, it's like a sphere. Now, the thing is, we don't know if it touches you if you're above it, though. That's the thing. We only know it touches you if you're on the ground, if you're in proximity parallel to it, right? We don't know if it's above, if it's a...
I think it's just a sphere, dog.
I want to say it is too.
I think it's just an AoE that we can't see, which is something they should probably... Hopefully, maybe it's dated gameplay. Sometimes that happens where they just need to show maybe a ring, something to let the opponent know. This is more of even if I'm the Dizzy player, I'd feel that's a little cheap where they can't even tell where the line is.
Well, they can see. So this is why I'm saying I don't know if it goes above the head yet. If you look at,
it wasn't really apparent to me.
So 4 minutes and 1 second, and if you guys, whoever wants to check this out, you could probably break it down a little bit better than I'm going to. But there's a certain distance where if you play it slowly, it has multiple rings, kind of like if you looked at Saturn or any type of galaxy, planet in the galaxy that has rings around it that have multiple shapes where things orbit around it. It actually orbits around, the little lights orbit around her like that from a really large sphere, but it's not above her head. I only see it probably about the height of her, and that's really it. It goes up to the height of her head, but then it comes back down to where her feet is. So
that was really difficult to see in that light. I think we were on the Axel stage or somebody. It was really difficult for me to see it in a lighter stage. So
oh no, you're gonna get demolished on a lighter stage where it has any form of gold, and God forbid they allow the color to change based off of the outfit. That will be insane. So I'll state I'm looking through that first. But I just want to say also, I feel like with Icefield, this makes her kind of a really big threat, because people who want to approach or don't want to approach, she gets to kind of dictate the field, because it's the first time we're seeing two types of we're seeing an AoE effect that's it's never really been done in fighting games, because it rarely does happen, except for outside of I think it was Love Max, which is the God, why am I forgetting? Arcana Heart. So we've seen them do AoE, which changes the screen, changes the effect of what's happening to the opponent or even the character. But we've never really seen, in a Guilty Gear game at least, where there's a field effect. Maybe outside of one of the side games, but there's never been a main staple game that's had a field effect where it affects both opponents, both players, and makes them kind of their movement changes completely.
Yeah.
Smash.
It's something like Smash and all.
Yeah, pretty much.
In a Guilty Gear shit, it's kind of we haven't seen this kind of effect like that. But best mechanic. But this has been the biggest controversy in her kit.
Faust had oil and Exude.
Oh, he did have the black hole as well. But that was that's an item thing. Yeah, that's an item thing.
It's not an effect. that we could do
Right,
constantly.
right.
Yeah, you want to talk about item characters?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
It's a crazy move, man. I mean, again, it's conditions met, but with all this freeze talk, yeah, it looks possible.
Bro, now we're just talking about her kid now. The thing I just keep piecing in my head is like, man, you know, Wild Assault, positive bonus, wall break. This, in some situations, I'm like, this is like kind of checkmate-ish in certain areas. This is like, I'm against the wall. I've got no drive meter. My opponent has drive gauge and three bars. Like, I'm gonna eat this 65%. Like, tough break.
If she can keep it up while blocking, then you know.
I think they said in the video she could. My
could,
guess
or
is
that
she could during blocking
while blocking. You know, because if she can activate it and just hold down back the rest of the match,
that's insane. Because now you're getting punished for being offensive to her, and then if she has good defense, now she's just like
negative.
You might as well kick me in the face. Yeah, you might as well counter me to my face.
We also haven't seen if you RC it, if it makes it go away. That's
oh my god!
Other thing.
Oh my god! Imagine RCing and slowing down time. Like, does the damage slow down too? Oh, imagine
it on
if it stays
Nago's
the same.
blood, whatever.
Nago,
that character's just
the life bar literally just starts laughing and is like, all right, go to the next round, bro.
I want to see her jabs. I'm looking at this other exclusive gameplay on like GameSpot and stuff. I'm not seeing it. I
love her toe kick.
Yeah, but I haven't
5K.
seen
her
if I'm
2D.
missing. Huh?
That was 5K.
Her 2D, her
2D is
sweep.
wild.
No, I'm talking about her toe kick.
Bar.
But her toe kick, the 5K off of she does like off of like little specific combos.
Yeah, it's the tail. I'm just trying to look for a jab. If I haven't seen it, then I'm just crazy. But because if it's not fast, then a wake up super is definitely needed. Like she does have. So yeah, interesting character, especially that jump dust, if that is dust.
Yeah, the fireball that you could catch on it earlier. Yeah, she has like, I'm pretty sure that's her dust. I cannot see, because they didn't say anything about any additional special moves, and it's not the first character to have like a projectile based air dust. Like Jacko has one as well.
She still has her multi-hitting far S. I think that's probably going to be forward S, which is like it's got the ice elongate.
Yeah.
Do you think that moving forward, I'm just kind of hypothetically for like Wings of Light, I personally feel, because I'm gonna be I'm a Dizzy player, I feel like I would just never use her super. This would be her super.
That's the interesting thing, because there is utility. Like, and first of all, that's the part where I'm like, the way they're balancing it, at least the way I think they're balancing it, is because tension is involved. Because if you decide, Mezza, if say we're playing, you knock me down, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking chomp as much health out of you. It won't kill me, right? Because it doesn't kill me. So if I'm not dead, that means I can still win the match. The probabilities may be small, but I can still win. Anyway, you knock me down, it pops, your tension bar is gone. Yeah. I'm still alive. That means in this situation, you have no way to super punish me on anything, like to whiff punish me on any kind of super, because Gamma Ray is another move that she has. Even though you need 100 tension for it, it's a full screen fucking thick proton cannon Shinku Hadoken. It's just like a death beam that goes full screen.
And you
don't have that.
Ice.
Yeah, you don't have that. You don't have YRC. You don't have FD. You don't have regular RC either.
We're assuming
and you have no wake ups now. So it's like, you have burst. That's about it. But that's it. Like, you've just lost like 5 of your options because you went this route. Yeah. That's where I'm like, okay, either get the wings, get the cheap damage, and lose all your defensive mechanics, literally all of them. You don't have, outside of burst, and burst has to be, also not baited, right? That's still, a 50-50 there. Like, you literally lose everything else. Now, if her kit is good enough that it can survive without it, this shit's broken. If not, if it isn't up to par and she maybe is a little bit more meter dependent than we think, especially to get more damage, even though she kind of does chunk a decent amount for just a couple of hits. She's kind of like a zoner slayer in my eyes right now. Like, not long combos, but we'll take a piece out of you. It's gonna depend on how well that balances out. But like, I guess the idea is like, you pop these wings, you can forget everything else.
So the other thing is, I feel like nobody's even thinking about it. Maybe there are people, but she could deactivate these anytime she wants.
Yes. Yep.
This is
so it could be a bluff.
I don't even know if this can be deactivated. I mean, they showed it could be deactivated midway through her doing it as well. I'm just curious if, like, let's say you call chompers and the damage is already going, you de-chomper, now you still have the meter to kind of get out of that situation. You've just taken like 25% of somebody's life just for even existing. I'm not sure I'm, as a player, okay with this, only due to the fact that she's not locked in. It's not a full commitment thing. It's like lack thereof commitment. So that's scary. That's very scary. As a competitive player, that would be scary. And as a casual player, I just hate it if I like was not a Dizzy player. So yeah.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. Yeah, mind games with it would be sick. Like, imagine getting knocked down, pop the wings, like, oh my God, I have to get out. I have to move, or else I actually will get checkmated somehow, or I'm gonna lose so much health. And it makes me want to jump. And you're looking for the jump. Air throw you, RC. I was never gonna pop it, loser. Like, there's levels here. There's
gonna be a setup where people do this and they call it, let's say, chompers. It locks you down. She takes it off and just supers and you die. That's going to happen. Or, roasted chestnuts. Like, certain situations are going to happen that are inevitable. I think that's kind of just like where the game is slowly going to go, especially with all these new balance patches.
Yeah, well, we don't know yet about the rest of the balance changes. If any of the gameplay that you see right now from Dizzy from the GameSpot also gives you some inklings, things like Ramlethal's second Rekka hit now guard crushing for some fucking reason. We are in for some shit. But Dizzy's gonna be here. Dizzy's gonna be here on Halloween. That's literally in a couple days for us here by the time this episode comes out. But on top of what went down with talking about Dizzy and showing her off, Arc World Finals, March 21st to the 23rd. It's going to be at the Shrine Auditorium in LA, California, baby, US of A. So I think they said there's like a specific area there. They've been there before.